It's your boy R back again with another video. For the people that enjoy this video, just letting you know up front, if you like the video, and then subscribe to this channel. Cool? And for all the people that dislike this video and don't like me at all, I didn't really feel the level of dislike for me in the last rant that I dropped. So I want you to smack that dislike button, alright? I need you to hit it hard as you possibly can. Because, I mean, I expected much more from you. I only got 81 dislikes on my last rant. Let's get to 100 dislikes. Try harder, alright? Try harder. Welcome back to my Scrape universe. It's your boy R's, back at it again with another video. So, kind of upset that I had to get up today to get to watch this episode. I was in my warm bed. It's raining outside. I was chilling, but I got a review to do, so fuck it. Let's get this shit started, alright? For the people that are new to my videos and new to my channel, here's my rating system. That's how I decide my ending rank. For everybody else who's been with me for a while, you get the program, you get the idea. Let's just get into this shit, alright? So, again, we're doing the typical fucking pre-cap shit. It took them over 3 minutes to get into the episode. I just wish they would stop. I really just wish they would stop with this, but let's actually go into it. So, Jiren, right off the bat, is fucking flaming. I don't know why he has a flame aura, but I mean, I guess he's Jiren. Who the fuck cares? Well, I guess we'll figure that out at some other point, or never. Probably never. What I found to be interesting is that Vegeta says that right after he finishes powering up and shit, right? He says, with all your friends gone, now you get serious. A late mistake to make. And if we beat you, our last opponent, we win. That moment when the show is self-aware of how fucking stupid it is that Jiren is using all his power now that he's the last person left. This is the reason why I went off in my last rant, is because it makes no logical sense why this boy Jiren is just deciding right now to use all of his power on a 4-on-1. Like, this guy could have done this shit at the start of the fucking tournament and in theory just knocked off 90% of participants. I mean, really, like, he actually could have done that, and there would have been nothing anybody could have really done about it. And he waits until now that he's the last guy left, and once he loses, that's game over, and he's like, now I want to use my full power. Whatever, man. As per usual, I already talked about this in my last rant. Literally stated, okay, it was literally stated at the end of the last episode that Vegeta had no energy left. None. And here he is in his strongest form yet again.
Of course!
What the shit, man. It's like Goku and Vegeta were turned into androids off screen or some shit. I don't comprehend this at all. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Let's just get into it. So these guys start triple teaming Jiren, and I'm not gonna lie, right? The fighting for this episode was pretty good. I would be inclined to say this was a good episode if it wasn't for all the logical inconsistencies in this episode. But the fighting, it was pretty good. It wasn't half bad. Trying to go through the fighting pretty quickly, but they all try to attack him. In general, it doesn't work. Vegeta and 17 try to do a dual beam attack on Jiren, and obviously that doesn't work. My only issue is that the beams touched, okay? The beams should never touch. You know why? Just don't do that, alright? And, 17 protects Vegeta from basically getting his shit stomped in. And, Vegeta comes in, attacks Jiren. Again, it doesn't work. Like, we've gone through these motions so many fucking times at this point. Every time these guys try to attack Jiren, for the most part, it almost never works. So I'm gonna be saying it just doesn't work for a while. I hope you get used to it, but that's just the way it is. It doesn't work. Prepare for me to say that statement many times throughout the entirety of this review. I apologize in advance, okay? So Jiren punches this nigga so hard that he goes into base, right? And Goku fires a Kamehameha at Jiren after Vegeta gets his shit kicked in, alright? Now, could it... I'm sorry. Could it be the stance, that glow? Nigga, is that a Jajankin? Is that Gon's Jajankin from Hunter x Hunter, nigga? Yo, check the footage. Hold on. We gotta check the footage on that one. Yo, you gotta overlay fucking Gon's fucking his catchphrase when he does that attack over when Jiren was doing that shit in the episode. It's so fucking funny. So Jiren basically does a Jajankin uppercut and destroys Goku's Kamehameha, right? And here's one of the moments that like legitimately pissed me off is this guy 17 pops up behind Jiren, right? And he announces himself to Jiren. Like, he makes his presence known and everything and puts this focused blast of energy into his back, right? And creates a giant explosion. First thing that I have an issue with is 17 seemingly feeling pain. Now, I don't understand why that's a thing, but I'm pretty sure it was a thing back in Dragon Ball Z that androids don't feel pain. I'm pretty sure they can experience fear, but pain? When was that? Since when? And now that I think about it, didn't 18 also feel pain in her ankle when she twisted that shit before? Why is it all of a sudden that androids can feel pain? Now, again, I'm not 100% sure of this, but I'm pretty sure that androids don't feel pain. So this was pretty fucking stupid. Just showing that the writers don't pay attention to the shit that's happened in Z, right? And that actually did damage to him. That attack that 17 used after he announced himself to Jiren did damage.
Excuse me, what?
Oh. Why? Just they've gone back to this let down his trope shit. And this is the reason why when people try to bring up some bullshit excuses for this let down your guard bullshit, this is like, if you go back to Z, and I've used this example several times, right? In the Namek Saga, okay? In the Namek Saga, Frieza, with low energy, right? With virtually no energy, with virtually no stamina, and while cut in half, tanked a planet-level explosion. Later on the line, in this shit in Super, this nigga Goku got down by a beam laser with God Ki, okay? He also got scratched by a bullet, which makes zero sense because before Goku even knew what Ki was, right? He was tanking bullets with no difficulty. He was not getting scratched at all. I'm pretty sure it was stated sometime in Dragon Ball that his base durability of his body was steel. So bullets shouldn't do anything to him. And here we are with Jiren, who is way stronger than all of these motherfuckers. And 17 is not even God level. And he shows up behind Jiren and damages him. How does that make sense to anyone who's watching this shit? Miss me with this shit, man. like I'm so done with this fucking they let down their guard bullshit trope. No, fuck out of here. These niggas at the bare minimum should have planet level durability without even fucking trying. No, there's no logical reasoning for any of this shit. So obviously I'm not gonna let that shit slide. I might have to put a link down below for Laughing Stock's video on this trope. I thought it was pretty good. You guys can go watch that after you're done with this. But let's go for it because I don't want to spend too much more time on this. My other issue is that while 17 was firing all these ki blasts, this nigga was pushing back Jiren. And again, like, I need to tell you, like, I need to be very clear. 17 is not on the same level of as Goku and Vegeta. This nigga has no God Ki, okay? It's like, it's Jiren, Goku, and Vegeta, and 17. 17 is not in the same plane of power as Goku and Vegeta. It makes zero sense why his normal fucking ki blasts are capable of pushing back Jiren, especially considering the fact that he is using even more power than he was using before. So fucking stupid. Ugh. Again, let's move forward, alright? Again, now Goku is banking on the let down their guard trope shit. And that's going to be their strategy from now on, I guess. Jiren says, okay, are you done talking? Can we get on with this shit? And the guy who had no energy and just got knocked into base goes into his strongest form for the second time in one episode.
Of course!
Continuing. And, long story short, Goku and Vegeta start trading hands and shit. And, you know, god damn it, I can't even speak. This is so fucking stupid. Let me gather my thoughts for a second. Hold on. Bear with me. While Goku and Vegeta were fighting this guy, and they were trying to create an open for 17, 17 fires a ki blast, does nothing, and Jiren comes after him, obviously, because that's fucking annoying. And now, like, the thing that I don't understand is why is it that 17 is now deciding of all time to start using all these very unique ways of using his barrier? Like, it's not like I don't have an issue with him using like different forms of his barrier. I don't have an issue with that at all, right? It's creative. But why did you wait until now to start using that shit? Again, this is one of the things that me and NBA were talking about, where it's like androids have unlimited energy and they have unlimited stamina. These guys should be using everything they have in their arsenal at all time because there's no reason for them not to be using their full power, and there's literally no reason for them to be holding back. I mean, you have all the energy and all the stamina in the world. What reasoning do you have to hold back? It shouldn't drain you to use any of these abilities. So I just don't understand why 17 waited all the way until now to start using all these different abilities. But moving forward, all three of them decided they're going to attack him at the same time. It doesn't work. And obviously Vegeta's down, which means by extension Goku and 17 are down. Whatever, man. And Frieza comes out of nowhere, to no one's surprise. Like, I obviously we already knew that he was still on the stage. He didn't get knocked off. And I thought this was actually a pretty badass moment. Frieza just saying, you know, fuck the rules, forget all that. And he says, you deserve to be killed by me. I'm not going to tell you where that came from, but I gave them props for, you know, actually doing an homage without having to, you know, do a fucking blatant ripoff from Z. I'll applaud them a little bit for that. That was a nice homage. I'll give them that. That was a pretty badass moment for Frieza. But of course, it doesn't work.
Of course!
And, you know, Jiren just stares at him, stops him, punches him, and fucking drops him. Tragic. Long story short, these guys are still on the ground. 17 starts talking with Jiren, and Belmod finally decides to explain Jiren's backstory. let me go into my storytelling mode so I can entertain you guys. Excuse me. All right, let's get into it. So, little Jiren Wayne one day was away from his village, and one day he shows up and his village is in ruins, and unfortunately, little Jiren Wayne's parents were killed by an evildoer. Truly, truly tragic, truly one of the worst moments in Jiren's life. And little Jiren Wayne, okay, he was picked up by not Raj Al Ghul, and he went off and he trained little Jiren Wayne, and they fought together, they trained together, and they grew a bond. And with this newfound power, little Jiren Balboa, trained with not Raj Al Ghul, and he gained Nakama. And with these Nakama, he challenges the evildoer again. And Jiren Balboa, with his Nakama, fight this guy. And unfortunately, his enemy was a little bit too strong. And his companions, one by one, his Nakama, they died one by one. Truly, truly tragic, truly one of the saddest moments in Jiren's life. And even not Raj Al Ghul could stand up to this evil foe and died in the fight. Truly tragic, truly unfortunate. And abandoned by all those that he trusted after getting their shit stomped in. Jiren's grief was immeasurable. And because of this, he hasn't trusted anyone ever since. I have one thing to say to you guys, you writers. One thing to say to you guys.
Go suck a dick, suck a dick, suck a motherfucking dick, suck a dick, suck a huge or small.
It's too late! It's too late, niggas. You waited 30 plus episodes to give a backstory on Jiren the Cliché. I don't care anymore. No one watching this cares anymore. It's too late. Alright? I don't give a shit about this generic ass backstory you gave him, trying to make him seem like Batman. And then they don't even get me started on how they fucking added the Toguro backstory for people that have watched Yu Yu Hakusho. Oh, the only thing that's necessary is power. The only thing I care about is power because all my students or my companions died. I fucking see you, writers. You can't get that shit past me. So, they basically gave Jiren the Cliché a combined Batman and Toguro backstory. Just, what the fuck ever, man. 17 starts prodding Jiren, and apparently the only thing that was necessary in order to get Jiren to start acting sloppy was to just taunt him emotionally. I mean, I don't fucking get it. And like while he was taunting him, like this nigga Belmont is like, what do you know about Jiren? Like, he knows enough now. Like, you literally told him basically his entire backstory, why y'all niggas was fighting. That's all he needs to know. Like, it doesn't take a detective to figure out what's gonna get under Jiren's skin now. Just stupid all around. Whatever, man. At the end of it, 17 gets his shit kicked in by Jiren, who's not having any of this anymore. Fires a giant-ass ki blast at Goku and Vegeta and 17. He starts putting up some barriers. Obviously, it doesn't work.
Of course!
And 17 dies. He self-destructs, puts a barrier over Goku and Vegeta, and he dies. He self-destructs in order to destroy Jiren's attack, which is plausible just because, I mean, when people do those like self-destruct attacks, kind of like with Vegeta's final explosion, you basically create an attack that's stronger than yourself. So he blew himself up destroyed the Ki Blast. The only thing that I have an issue with is that this nigga, the Grand Priest, says that we can assume that 17 self-destructed it. Self-destructed. And I'm like, I thought this guy was basically, like, he's basically near omniscient. Or nigh omniscient anyway. Like, this guy can see what's happening in other universes, like, in a second. So, when the guys are actually in front of you and something happens, you should know everything that's happening on the stage. Nothing should be beyond your comprehension. You shouldn't have to assume anything. Am I the only person that has an issue with that? I'm pretty sure I'm not, but I just thought that was something interesting to point out. Another thing that I thought that was interesting to point out is that I think Goku says that 17 did it so they could heal? And I'm like, wait a minute. Since when, where was it ever stated that Goku and Vegeta, or anybody for that matter, could just heal by resting? Like, do these guys have, like, auto recovery? When was that ever stated or really displayed? Because, like, the closest thing I could think of is Goku recovering that one time in the Battle of Gods arc, like 100 plus episodes ago. But he's never used anything like that since, so I've just assumed that was a one-off thing. So I don't know where this auto recovery thing came from. So are you telling me that Goku and Vegeta now not only have infinite energy, infinite stamina, but they also can recover over time? So many ass pulls. Just I can't even be mad at this shit because it's so fucking ingrained and entrenched in this show. It's kind of like one of those things where, yeah, just whatever, bro. Whatever. The last thing that I noticed that I pointed out is that the narrator says that Vegeta musters up the stamina, and I'm like, how does one muster up stamina? I can understand mustering up spirit and mustering up energy, but stamina, like, once your stamina gets depleted, like, you can't get that shit back just from, you can't just, like, get back a significant amount of stamina just by, you know, sitting around after doing several minutes of constant conflict. More stupidity from the writers. Going into the preview, Vegeta's getting his ass kicked, and he's gonna get knocked off the side at the end of the next episode, I'm assuming. Can anyone barely be surprised? I wasn't. My final rating for the episode was a 4 out of 10. I thought this was a bad episode, but I didn't think this episode was trash. I just thought that it was bad. It was definitely better than the last episode, in my opinion. But I mean, the ass pulls that we've seen in this episode have just been, I've seen it so many times and I've called it so many times that I feel like it's kind of redundant to just keep going over it and deducting points for that. If that makes any sense. So, I just said that it was a 4 out of 10 episode this time around. It had some good fight scenes. I had a badass moment. 17 sacrifice elicited a little bit of emotion from me, but at the same time, you know that 17 is going to come back anyway because Super Dragon Balls, duh. Like I said, there's no reason for anyone to care about anyone dying on the stage or anyone being erased here because you know that they're going to get wished back at the end of the day, so who cares? Tragic, I guess. That's the end of my review. Like I said, if you liked the video, like it, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and for all the people that don't like me, let's get 100 dislikes this time. I'm serious. Try harder, okay? I know you've been dislike botting me. Just do it again, and this time get to 100. All right? Try harder. That's the thing I had to say for this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Your boy Ours is out.